I'm Mark Tuggle. I live in the village of Harlem. I'm an activist.
Yeah.
I'm an educator. I'm a humanitarian. I'm a mentor. I'm a writer. I'm a blogger. I call myself a Renaissance man.
That's what's up.
And I really value being of service to humanity. And I want to make a lot of difference in the lives of young people, particularly young people of African descent.
Right on, right on.
That's why I'm on this earth,
Thank
to make
you.
a difference.
Yeah, that's a big deal to be here
It's my
with
purpose.
us and sharing, and that we're looking forward to sharing information with you about your experiences in all those categories that you just mentioned. And that's one of the reasons why you were asked to please show up for the show, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Shawn Lane, here he is, right here.
I'm Shawn Lane. I am an educator as well. I teach in Harlem. Well, I call it the planet of Harlem because it's a whole other world after 110th Street.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for 15 years. I'm a dad to 268 kids, Monday through Friday, and sometimes on Saturdays and Sunday, depending on the phone calls. I'm a soon-to-be husband. I'm a dad of a child myself, and I just love learning and helping other kids learn and achieve success and greatness.
Yeah, that's what's up. You got a little low on the volume.
Sorry.
I'll address that. No, it's not you.
Okay.
We regularly face technical challenges here in production, as the nature of production is. But we continue to encourage our alliance and our partnership with this media center, which is a public media center, and we are forever grateful for community access, community access television. Yeah. How was your week, guys?
Good. Quiet, productive, working out. Yeah, I'm on Facebook a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the news, excuse me, CNN, MSNBC, which lacks diversity in my perspective. You know, I don't like listening to people where everyone agrees, everyone has the same point of view. So I mean, that's not really interesting dialogue.
What do you mean it's lacking diversity? We're always on news broadcasts, either at the end of a policeman's bullet, or stick, or somewhere drowning, or being found somewhere dead. What are you talking about, lack diversity? We're in the news a lot. What are you talking about,
that's
man?
True. That's
Most of the time on the wrong side.
the wrong side
On
of
the
the
wrong
news.
side, right?
Yeah, 6
Come
feet
on, man.
under.
Yeah.
I'm talking about being on a news show,
Right.
and everyone has the same point of view. That's not really interesting.
Yeah.
For example, I like Melissa Harris Perry.
I don't know who that is.
She's on MSNBC Saturdays, Sundays from 10 a.m. to midnight. I'm sorry, 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
Right. Why do you like her?
I like her because she's a critical thinker. She touches subjects that most news outlets doesn't touch about. But everyone on her show, they all agree. They all have the same basic point of view. There's very little difference.
That's plugging the show, but that's not really a plug for the show. That's really plugging Mark being on the show right, to help change that format.
Yeah,
Like, Shawn, how was your week, man?
My week was good. I can't complain. I did some running. I just became a runner in the last year or so I'm just trying to get my legs together. Getting ready mentally for the school year coming up and preparing for my wedding.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Shawn.
Yeah,
Thank
Shawn's
you.
getting married to Derek McCullers.
McCullers.
McCullers. Big shout out to the McCullers. They're out in Baltimore, Maryland,
Indeed,
right?
yes.
Big up to Baltimore. Black power, more power to you, everyone, while you're alive.
Indeed.
And please help to contribute to social change, not only out in your communities, but in your society. Let's go ahead and continue to infect and talk about change on a massive level. You had mentioned you were a teacher, your father to 220 students.
262 kids, depending on the school year.
Wow.
So like I'm from 7:15 to 4:15, sometimes 5:30. I'm a dad all the time.
Right on. We want to talk more about education and
Right.
your perspective from your perspective as an educator.
Right.
I know that you are not a public school teacher, but
No.
it is a sort of a publicly funded school.
Yes.
You do teach at one of the charter schools. Can you tell us what school that you?
I teach at the Cecilia Walker Charter School of Harlem. It's actually the first charter school in New York State. So we set the standard. We laid the foundation down for that, and everyone else followed after us. It's been an up and down ride for the last 15 years, but it's been eye-opening and a personal learning experience for me.
Right on.
So,
It's been 15 years,
15
huh?
years.
Right on, right. And I have some statistics here that I pulled off the web that, as far as charter schools in New York State, according to the Center for Education Reform, New York ranks number 18 in the states. Is it 52 states? In the 52 states, we're number 17 with an average graduation rate of 77%. Which is not bad considering that average funding is about $20,000
Just
per
about.
student. So we're talking about public funds, and we're talking about what is a charter school. For you guys who do not know exactly what a charter school is, the definition of charter schools is
A charter school, to me, in my opinion, is it's a public school. It's a public school with a more rigorous curriculum. So as where you go to a public school, you have 45 minutes of this, of math, 45 minutes of writing, 45 minutes of reading. You get an hour and a half block of reading, writing. You get character development, because they don't do that in public school. In character development, we take the kids out to the neighborhood, interact with the people, go to the firehouses, speak to the firemen, have the firemen bring the smokehouse so the kids can learn how to get out of a fire if there is one in their home. It's a more rigorous school day and year from all the students. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. The teachers get there in the beginning of August, which I have to go in a couple of weeks, to always redo the curriculum to curtail it so that we're touching every child, because not everybody learns the same way.
Right.
Not every child digests information the same way. Not every child's experience is the same thing. So where they teach us how to do these things. And it's more of a family atmosphere. The more of a family you feel like, the easier it is for you to teach the children. I won't say deal, because they're not animals or pets.
Right.
So
You're kidding me, because that's what I was treated as in public school. I can jump off a few numbers for you. PS, 154, PS 130, James Monroe High School. Big up to all those institutions. I'm sure they've changed. I'm hoping that they've changed their curriculum since I've attended those schools. But I was sort of a ghost, in those schools. And I got to tell you, there was no identification with the educators that were there, with the exception of the athletic department, and the coaches there who paid attention to me because I had a good handle. I could jump really high, or I can dribble with my left hand, things like that, There was some personalized attention, too, from those individuals as well, taking me outside of the school athletic scene and taking me to the golf course, where I found that I was a pretty good golfer. I did very good on the drive range, did very good in 18 or 16 holes, and I was a very good tennis player. So, yeah, I discovered that, but does that really happen in public schools on a regular basis these days? I'm not sure.
it all depends on you as the educator. Because when I was in school, I had friends, and I went out to lunch with kids and did those things with my friends. But for me personally, when I'm in school, like if I see a student that's struggling or needs one-on-one attention, I'm like, hey, you know what? Tuesday, we're going to go to lunch, and I'll spend my entire lunch period with this child, and just to get down and know who they are. What's going on with you? What's happening? What's your life like? Like I had a student that mom had a baby, and she immediately became the middle child, no longer the baby. So her behavior went down because of that. So now I'm like, all right, so let me go see what's going on. And I took her to Popeyes. It's not the healthiest place to eat.
We're not plugging Popeyes.
Right? But I sat down with this child, and I'm like talking to him, like, so tell me what's going on. And she told me everything that was going on. And while she's telling me this, the EMTs are pulling a person that had OD'd in the bathroom out on a stretcher. And she's like facing the bathroom while this is happening. She's like, well, what happened? Why does it happen, Miss Lane? I said, that's a whole other subject. We can't talk about right now. But those are the things that she sees.
The trauma.
Right. Every day.
Every day. So like, if you don't get a child personalized attention, be it at school or at home, then it's going to be hard. Most parents do not realize that we as educators are with your child more than you are with them. As a matter of fact, you probably they sleep with you in your house more than you're up awake with them. So I'm not going to say they're not going to listen to you, but more than likely they're going to listen to what we have to say first and foremost before you. Because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of teachers that know that a person's child better than they know other person knows their child.
Right, so this is part of the charter school way also,
Not all,
Not all
because
charter
not all
schools.
are like that. They're not. Some I've been to some schools and I've witnessed some schools where the teachers are very hands off. Like you line up like this, and you walk in like a robot, and that's it. There's no interaction. There's no personalization of anything because they just want it to be clean.
That's interesting. I can imagine the success rate of those schools
They teach
by
you to
taking
raise-
away that personalized attention. But I'm curious to know those statistics, and I'll do some research on that. The statistics where the schools are more hands off as opposed to hands on. How that varies. But what I'm taking from what you're saying is the personalized attention, and I'm thinking about Mark Tuggle and him being a mentor. How does that look on an adult scale? You know,
I've been a mentor for 13 years, and I've made an investment in this young black male's life because that's really important to me. And it's really a mutual beneficial relationship because his emotional honesty, you know, his vulnerability has really kind of helped me walk through my manhood, my own challenges, my own insecurities, my own doubts. And to see him graduate from high school, go to college, and become employed, become a productive member of society, have a relationship with God, has been,
That's dope.
it's like one of the highlights of my life. Just watching him grow, mature, evolve into a fully realized human being. It's been a blessing
right on.
because I know I'm being used as an instrument. But it's a two-way street.
Right on, right
Yeah.
on. Listen, I want to remind everyone that this is a live broadcast. My name is Sheba Legend. I'm here with Mark Tuggle and Shawn Lane, and we're going to open our phone lines in about 14 minutes and 40 seconds. The number to call in live is 718-237-1658, and we are talking about mentoring, education, and some possible solutions to combat the violence that's perpetrated against people in the inner city or people of color. Let's just go ahead and say that. You know, I ain't scared. That's what we've been talking about for the past couple of months. I'm not going to undo everything that we've done so far by lightening up on shit. Listen, we getting bashed over our head. We getting shot, right? And it's not happiness. Listen, I went online last night. We got a call in. Listen, callers, we're not going to take calls now. We're going at the half hour, 8:30. Please be patient with us. Please call back. We're looking forward to you, to your communication. I was online last night and I witnessed. I was watching a video where there was some brown fellas, brown gentlemen out in California a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, I know this
Who
case.
had their hands up. There was 3 individuals, and what ended up happening, it was two of them were shot. One of them was shot to death, and the video was so clear and candid that it was so disturbing, you know, and traumatizing to see something like that available, you know, at the switch of a button. It's a necessary evil, I believe, to have access to that type of information, lest our law enforcement departments, you know, those bad apples that are within those departments, those agencies, you know, get away with literally murder. You know, we have a sister who went to jail on Friday and was dead on went to jail alive on a Friday and ended up dead on a Monday.
Sandra,
With
Yeah.
doctored video.
You
Yeah,
know,
Dr.
and
Doctored
so,
video.
So it's things like that that are disturbing, but they're necessary. They have to be necessary to be accessed by common folk like us, so we can see the reality of the departments that are supposed to serve us. You know, departments and agencies that we created to serve us. You know, have them be held accountable for whoever is amongst their ranks. You know, it's a bad reflection on their agency. It's a bad taste in my mouth every time I see anyone in that uniform, or any uniform, so to speak. I don't see them as individuals. I see them as representation of an entity that's trying to eliminate my people. You know, eliminate me. I take it personally. So, you know, I have a bad reaction to it, in other words. So, how do we offer possible solutions to deter those bad reactions to those uniforms? any solutions to any possible solutions that we can offer to our audience. You know, like in light of seeing all this information, the reality of our society and the people who are supposed to be enforcing the laws and protecting us turning on us.
I think information. The internet is there. Utilize it. Read. Pick up a book. A lot of the dudes out on the corner think every time they see a cop, it's fuck the police, fuck the pigs, blah, blah, blah. I know my rights. You really don't know your rights. You don't really know that what you can say and will be used against you in the court of law. Sometimes you just don't say anything, and I know you don't want to because it's going to make you look like a punk in front of your boys and the cop sends you, but sometimes that one word you say may be the reason why you end up dead. Think before you react. Is it worth my life? Is it worth trying to prove this cop wrong? Because you don't know what kind of day that cop had, and he doesn't know what kind of day you had. So, I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you can talk to the police officer in a calm way, as they always say, be polite and all that stuff, it may not work all the time. But you have to do something so that you can walk away safely. Know your rights. Use the internet not just for Facebook and Instagram and then putting your videos up of you and your boys holding guns up. Utilize it for something intelligent. Find out information, know the law, read the law, and study. Don't try to quote the law like you think you know it, because a street lawyer doesn't always survive out in the street.
Information is very important. It's very powerful. But I also think, in addition to information, that we need to teach our youth conflict resolution skills.
They don't know how to talk to each other.
How do we talk to a person of authority, especially when you have resentment, bitterness, you don't feel good about, you don't feel safe. You know, people in our community don't feel safe. And when you don't feel safe, you kind of live in fear. When you live in fear, you are likely to be harmed. And so we need to learn how to deal with anger management, stress management, conflict resolution. And these are things I think we have to learn in the home. You can't expect the teachers, no, knock on you.
No.
But we can't expect the teachers, the educators to teach us these life lessoning skills, because they're really, sometimes those institutions are really not about edifying and liberating our people, especially when you're dealing with all the residue of white supremacy. Because you talked about, you know.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, because there's, you know, Black Lives Matter, this is what people are talking about, but if Black Lives Matter, why are we dying every single day?
That's the thing that kills me. Like, you can sit up and tell me Black Lives Matter, but you might be the same dude that will shoot me in the back trying to rob me for my stuff. How does that work? Like, how are you helping the cause? How are you satisfying that cause? Is that shooting me for my stuff? Is my black life doesn't matter at that moment because you want what I have? We don't think. Everybody wants right now. And the way society has turned out for us, people of color, black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, whatever shade you are, the way society is set up for us right now is that we have to grab what we can and hold on to it, because the way the laws are working right now, they're systematically, slowly taking things away from you. That you can't amass wealth anymore like you used to back in the 80s and 90s, because if you amass all this wealth, all of a sudden you got to account for how you got it. You can't just be the regular street pharmaceuticalist hustling and pushing weight, because then what you want to do is you want to go show it off to everybody and you're incriminating yourself. So how do you do it?
Well, I think some people shouldn't think. You know, I think there's a danger for a lot of people who do think.
Right.
Because they have warped perceptions or they've been misinformed all their life. I don't want anyone who's been misinformed all their life to think for me.
Right.
You know, I want someone who's going to think for me. I don't want them to think for me. I want them to consider or be mindful of me or of my population. You know, it looks good on a politician while they're in the community. You know, they keep in mind it's their job to keep in mind all the different groups of people that are within their community. But I know a gentleman who has gone up in the ranks, so-called up in the ranks as far as his political career is concerned, and now he resides over one of the largest cities in the world, who's changed sort of his, personalized idea of what community is, what that, rainbow flag is, not saying gay or lesbian, but that cultural flag of color. I believe he's gotten away from that agenda and has gone into more of the blueprint agenda. This is how you survive in the blueprint. Yeah, we know you talking all that community stuff. That's how you got elected,
right.
Whatever. But now you're in the blueprint. You're on our plantation.
This is what has to go.
This is the defined line that says this is the plantation. Now, either you with it, assume a position, right, or you out of here. You ain't gonna get far. We're gonna do whatever it is that we can to shift the groups that you're representing. We're going to do whatever we can to shift their perspective and get you out of your position of power, which is not really a position of power, because we have the power, because we control the plantation. So, I mean, I don't mean to ramble on about this, but the reality is I've seen this happen over and over again. The start is great, but the finish is kind of like, damn. It's like my ass still hurts from that rimming, or being bent over by this one, So, dude, who is the neighborhood pharmacist, street pharmacist?
Right.
They get money,
Right.
And they have skills.
And
They
they
have
got
skills.
skills. How we gonna tell him to stop making his money? How we gonna tell?
he's
What
gotta
we gonna give him in return? We gonna give him. We bringing a horse to the water. That shit don't
No,
work,
it don't work.
With him on the.
No.
He making money. What do we talk to him about? What we got to say to him?
I want a business, entrepreneurship, giving back to the community that you are living in. I'm not saying you can't give back. I'm just saying, like, try to build something. If you got all your boys and y'all making money, cool. Like, let's open a sneaker store in the hood. Let's open a grocery store. Let's open a dry cleaner. Find someplace that can give you income, but you're also giving back to your own people in a positive way, so that you're not being looked upon as the person I gotta get tonight for my quota. Because that's what's gonna happen. It'll keep you off the corner, maybe, maybe not. But it'll give people another way of looking at you, instead of saying that, oh, look at that dude on the corner over there, he might be doing something. But they might not know you're waiting for the next delivery run to take the clothes from the cleaners to somebody's house. So find a way to give back to your community, because the Jewish people always find a way to give back to themselves. First and foremost, the money changes hands at least 18 times before it leaves their neighborhood. Right. As soon as we get money, we go right downtown and go buy a pair of sneakers, or we go right down to Macy's to buy some shirts just to fit in someplace where we don't really fit in.
You ask a very difficult question, very complex question. I think also we have to learn how to lead by example, have some integrity, some credibility, learning how to say no, setting some boundaries with people. I'm not a customer. I have drug dealers in my neighborhood, but I'm not a customer. Thank God I'm not a customer. So I'm not under their control. I'm not being oppressed in that sense. But at the same time, in my neighborhood, I don't see the recreational opportunities for the youth. Where do they go when they get out of school? And some youth go to school with no breakfast, no father, and no
I
hope.
deal with that all the time.
And it's really difficult for them to expect to learn when you have to unlearn a lot of anti-black and anti-female attitudes that we have been indoctrinated with since birth. So, there's education, but there's also consciousness. There's a difference between being well-educated and having your awareness raised, because some of the most well-educated people, they don't like themselves.
Sure don't.
And when you don't like yourself, the youth are not going to look up to you, they're not going to respect you, they're not going to aspire to be like you. So there's a lot that we can do. I don't have all the answers, do you, Shawn?
We doing it one life at a time.
Yeah.
Like you have to lead by example. You have to show kids that there's a choice. You have to make a choice. I tell my students all the time, life is about choices. And every choice that you make has a consequence, both good and bad. If you're willing to make that choice, that means you're willing to accept the consequences that go along with that choice. So if you don't want to be in school, fine. But there's a consequence behind you not being in school. If there's an issue that's going on in your house and you need to run up out of your house and call someone, okay, cool, do it. But there's a consequence behind that. That means you might get a case against your mother or the guardian that you have, So you got to be conscious of your choices Bitch should be conscious of the choices that you make and what they might impact you. They might not impact you right now at that second, but it might impact you down the road. So we have to stop thinking about now and start thinking about the future, because the future is what's going to get us to it.
Right on. Let's put on the headphones. I think we got a caller.
Got a
Caller, are you
call?
still there?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Who's this and where you calling from?
My name is Star B from Brooklyn.
I'm sorry, say that.
Because this conversation has piqued my interest. I tuned in, and education is key.
Right on.
However, our school system needs to have teachers that are willing to get the education. I mean, you know what I'm saying, like to give the education, because it's hard when a student hears from a teacher, I got mine, you got to get yours. it starts at home, like Mark said. It definitely starts at home, and the challenges that the youth are facing these days are different from the ones that I faced when I was coming up.
Right.
You know, in the 70s and 80s, and born in the 60s. There is no after-school programs to the sense where, when I came up, we had the police athletic league, we had basketball tournaments, we had double dutch contests.
Wow.
People
Classic.
were willing to get with the youth and show them another way. I just know that what's important also is, like from a law perspective, right? We are being killed. Our people in our community are being killed. It really bothered me by the fact that the young lady who got arrested for a traffic stop, and she wound up dead, right? To add to that, when they stop you, I know we have rights in the street, but nowadays, when they stop you, we have phones, we have recorders, we are to abide by the authorities. The people who are governed to practice these laws are not very reliable either. So, I heard y'all was talking about a solution, right? I like the fact that Mark mentored, because I don't have any biological children, but I think it's imperative that the skills and the knowledge that I have, not just educational knowledge, but growing up in urban areas, it's important that I pay it forward.
Right.
I'm just so empowered by what you guys are speaking about tonight, and I'm very, very grateful that I tuned in. And
Right on. We're grateful
I'm
that
here
you.
every week, and I guess I'll be tuning in.
I appreciate that. Can you tell us your name again, please?
My name is Star B from Brooklyn.
Star
Star
B.
B.
Hey, Star B. Thank
you,
you for
Star.
calling
Thank you
in.
for calling in, Star.
Really
Thank you for calling in.
appreciate your input and your perspective. Please keep on keeping on, sister.
No
Okay.
doubt.
Right on.
Have
Thank
a
you,
nice
Star.
night.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Star B from Brooklyn. And yes, it is an inside job. It starts at home. And, kids, if there's anyone here who is not of the legal age, who just happens to be floating by, and you landed on this page, you landed on MasculineUs live. We are live right here, broadcasting on the Brooklyn Free Speech Network via the Brick Media House in downtown Brooklyn, USA. I'm here with Mark Tuggle and Shawn Lane. We're talking about the, the state of our people in this society right now. Ain't nothing really changed.
No.
To be really honest, that I can see. I've been here,
Just time.
around here for a little bit, and really nothing has changed. I've changed.
You don't think Obama's presidency changed the scope of how young people view themselves and their vision for a brighter future?
Thank goodness, yes. I believe that image of a man of color in office has helped
Okay.
a great deal, absolutely. Even with me, I know he's a house head, and that helps me even more. You know what I mean? Because I love music, and I know how music has saved my life on some level. Has left a footprint in me, and it's helped me survive. Not only survive, but help sustain my love of whatever love I had of myself that helped me survive in this society, which is designed to ostracize me. So having that identification with him being a house head, saying,
Right.
yeah.
And he has a house in my former neighborhood, Hyde Park.
There you
I
go.
was born and raised in Hyde Park,
There you go.
home to Harold Washington, Muhammad Ali, Louis
you go.
Farrakhan,
There you go.
Barack Obama.
Yeah, and yes, I believe that that has changed on some level. Listen, we got another phone call.
Another phone
Okay.
call.
Let's
Right.
get it on. Let's see who's on the line and hear what's going on. Hey, caller, how you doing? Who is this and where you calling from?
My name is Greg. I'm calling from the Bronx.
Hey, Greg, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Right on. What's happening?
Yeah, I just want to first start to say that, I feel like, as black people learn to love each other and trust each other. It's sad that you walk on certain blocks and everything, and, your own brothers or sisters look you up and down, and that, something like that just shouldn't be. It's sad that you walk down a white neighborhood and you feel safer work in a neighborhood that's predominantly black or even Hispanic. You know, yes, it seems like, you know, every other week you hear in the news that, you know, one of our people are getting hurt or even killed by law enforcement. But fact is, we kill more people than any other ethnic group. You know, we are more dangerous to ourselves than anybody else. So, you know, you have to move it, I can't breathe, or, you know, Black Lives Matter. But the same people who are saying that are the same people that will put a bullet in your head.
I just said that.
Right. Now,
You know?
tell me
You
something.
can't be hypocritical, you know, walk on the street, go Black Power, all this stuff, saying you love your own people. But, like, at 10 o'clock night, I see you on the news robbing a freaking bodega.
Right.
You see,
It makes no sense.
right,
It gotta
I
start with
can definitely
that's
dig
us
that.
first.
Mm-hmm.
You
It
know?
starts in,
And like I said, when we end up on the news, everybody sees that. So they think we all are animals and we belong in zoos. You know what I'm saying? If we don't fix ourselves, how can we expect anybody else to respect us, look at us as human beings?
That's a fact.
now, I'm
You know,
not, I'm
you
not,
see it on the
I'm,
news,
right,
you see it
right,
on YouTube.
right,
You know, you see some jackass on the train yelling, world star, world star. That
Right.
shit goes worldwide.
right,
That's not cute.
right. So,
You
so,
know,
so,
and-
what I'm asking is, can you offer any possible solution to that? Because we're talking about not the whole, like you said, not when one jackass screws up, we can go for all groups. When one jackass screws up, it's a reflection on the entire group, right? How do we educate those bad apples, whether it's within the race, a race, a group of people of color, right? That has been we have been conditioned. You have to look at the conditioning that has been going on since the beginning of this country, right? Because that's involved in all that, right? And we have to look at the conditioning of law enforcement, right?
Right.
Right? How do we apply possible solutions to that? What can we offer in a form of solution to help highlight and extract those bad apples? Well, transparency is not working too well, you know, as far as video cameras are concerned, right? We see people all the time robbing places, you know, whatever. We see policemen killing people all the time. Video. Can you offer a possible solution to that? And that's where I really want to challenge our guests today and our audience. You know, can you offer some possible solutions to that?
Well, being a mentee, and still am,
Right on.
you know, I would say that mentorship is a good place to start. You know, showing, you know, young black males and females another way of life.
Right
You
on.
know, showing them something different, something positive than what they may be accustomed to.
Right on. Right on.
And also, you know, starting with education. You know, we have more teachers out there that, you know, it's not, you know, about the 9 to 5 or, you know, just get in there and do whatever they're doing, leave at the end of the day. They take more pride in actually trying to get to know their students. You know, I think that will go a long way as well.
Right on. Right on.
Can I ask Greg a question?
But most
Sure.
importantly, it starts in the home.
There you go.
You know, that's the most important thing. It starts in the home. You have to have the parent be the first line of defense, and teaching their young kids on how the proper way to carry themselves.
Right on. Right on. Right on.
Greg, this is Mark. Thank you for calling. You mentioned you were a mentee. Can you tell us and the audience how has mentorship improved or changed the quality of your life?
I would say this. I'm definitely a more, I would say, an outgoing person. You know, before I started going to a mentoring group, I was very much a cynical person. And, but, like I said, I'm much more outgoing right now. And, that's kind of helped me in my education and trying to get my life in order. And, that I really appreciate that.
Right on, right on.
But yeah, I would say, it starts with the parents and having mentoring groups out there, mentoring organizations, and teachers just being, more aligned with their students. That would go a long way.
Right on.
And in terms of, Mr. Obama being our president right now, I truly feel that things for, in terms of, our people, I think they've done worse. I think racism has really run rampant. Everybody thought that, Obama was the Messiah. He had, Jesse Jackson crying, how snot coming out of his nose and everything.
That was funny.
That
was funny.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Predominantly worse as the years have gone by with Obama being president. And that's not his fault. It's the fault of just racist people out there who are just so hateful and they hate seeing a black president in office.
Right. It's like we all have been mentioning, you have emphasized, it starts at home. It's an inside job, and mentorship is key. And it's not always called mentorship. I have a friend who I can label as a mentor. They live on an island in Greece that they own, right? And I get what I get from them when we're in contact. And I believe that's been the story of my life, right? The footprints that the people who I encounter, right? How those footprints resonate in my life, what I'm able to take with me, just those small acts of kindness. Even like, my mom saying, don't do that, don't hang out with those, don't you hang out with him, sometimes I took the suggestion, sometimes I didn't, and I got what I got when I did what I did, whether it was with that person or not. But our family, our parents especially, well, if you don't have a parent in your house, think about your uncle who's parenting you, or your sister or your brother who's parenting you, or your grandmother. Take note to what they're saying, because I'm going to tell you from experience, I'll just go on a limb and say, you guys can identify with what I'm saying. They have some information, man,
Right.
that can possibly save your life. And if you just took heed to it a little bit more, if you're not, I think your life will turn out the way that you really want it to as far as happiness is concerned. Now, you may not get that Cadillac when you graduate school, but maybe you can find a way, if you just took a suggestion, took time to listen to an elder, you may find a way sooner than later to obtain those materialistic things that you'll find that doesn't really comfort you internally, but you may get the girl or the guy or whatever, and that may help. I don't know. But we're talking about an inside job. We're talking about something that's spiritually based, and we're talking about racism and hate and fear that I believe require spiritual application as far as the solution is concerned.
I definitely agree. And it's also institutionalized racism as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for calling.
Thanks,
Really
Greg.
appreciate
Thanks, Greg.
you tuning in tonight, and we look forward to hearing from you again next week, hopefully.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Greg. Have a
Good night.
peaceful night.
Thanks, Greg.
Take care.
Thank you. Yeah, man. It's important that we recognize what we see and call it what it is, because television, mainstream media, does a real job on telling us otherwise. We're almost at a quarter of, hold on, caller. We have another call, and hold on, caller. We just want to recognize our fiscal sponsor, who is Fractured Atlas. This is MasculineUs. This is a not-for-profit, ongoing media project where we talk about possible solutions to the violence that's perpetrated against not just people of color, but anyone. But right now we're focusing, for the past few months, we've been focusing on people of color. What the fuck is going on out there, man? It's like Mastodon came out the fucking grave and he's just swinging wild, man. You know what I'm saying? The hell with that shit. It's an inside job. Don't believe the hype, you know? Empowerment we're talking about. So Fractured Atlas has been sponsoring the MasculineUs project for the past 5 years we've been in existence. We got a caller on the line. I'm here with Mark Tuggle and Shawn Lane. And we're going to go to this caller, guys. Let's see who's on the line. Hello, caller. Who's this and where are you calling from? Hi. Hello? Are you there? Can you hear us, caller? Okay, do me a favor, call back when you can. I know I put you on hold, and that was just because we had to recognize our fiscal sponsor. We're a few minutes late in doing that, acknowledging that partnership that this project has with them. We got about 10 minutes left in the program. Mark, any thoughts?
Well, I like what Greg had to say.
Here we go.
I like what Greg had to say. You got the callers coming in?
We got a caller coming.
Okay, let's listen to the caller.
Okay, caller. Hi. Hey, who's this and where you calling from?
Hello?
Hi. How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, Sheba?
Hi, who's this?
Bless. This is Tony.
Hey, Tony. Yeah, Tony has called in before. This is my man. What's happening, Tony? Talk to us, Tony.
You know, I'm upset. I'm upset because I got home late. Forgot to set my DVR. So I missed the beginning of the show.
Oh, man.
I did hear the brother talking, and he's talking about racism and the police. And yeah, that's what I've been dealing with, you know, on not personally. You know, nothing's happened to me personally, I should say. But I'm starting to do a lot of reading. And that's one solution. You know, you got to educate yourself. And once you educate yourself, you can start educating others.
Right on, Tony. You know, yeah, go ahead,
But I
Pete.
just found out how the police force was formed.
I just
You know,
talked about
they were the slave chasers.
The overseers.
You know,
Yeah,
that's the mentality that they still use today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they still look at us as slaves. You know, whereas we're human beings. You know, so we got to get, and sometimes we look at ourselves as slaves. When reality, we're from like king, queen, God. You know, so we got to change our way of thinking.
Right on. Right on.
And the system itself is corrupt. So the only way to fix it is to tear it down.
What do we do about structure, Tony, when we tear it down? We're talking about systematically tearing it down and replacing it, correct? We're not just talking
Yeah,
about tearing
yeah,
it
but
down
this is not
altogether
one-
because there'll be chaos, I'm sure. Or will there be?
Well, that's how the world started, actually, from chaos. And then
Indeed.
from that chaos came order.
Got it, got it. Thank you, Tony. I really appreciate you calling. And listen, man, I get it, man. Like, I wake up every day at the bottom of the barrel. That's what this blueprint says to me, that the society that I choose to dwell in, right? I'm talking about not only on a domestic scale, but on a global scale. I'm a woman, first of all, and I'm a black woman. I have no privilege, right? I'm Negro, right, in America, right? I wake up, I have those two layers that I have to deal automatically, right? And if I'm not right in my head, I'm susceptible to the same violence that we're talking about. But we're talking about the layers of stress, right? We talked about it in another program. The layers, I think it was with Stephen Welch, we talked about layers of stress that we go to bed with every day as people of color and we wake up with as people of color, like that's right off the bat. Don't nobody have to talk to us. We have the odds stacked against us, right, from the giddy up, right? How do we deal with that stress? From the gate, black, I'm Negro, bald head, big hands, big shoulders, I wear men's clothes, I got big feet, some additions to that layer, right? More stress to that layer as far as society from the outside looking in, right? How do I feel comfortable? How do I maintain my comfortability, my level of comfortability to keep me de-stressed, you know, in each step that I take as I walk through this society, right, as who I am? How do I do right? How do I keep that level of comfort where I'm okay in my own skin? Talk to us.
You walk with your head up. You hold your head up high and know that you are better than what they think of you. And you carry that with you. You tell yourself that 5 times a day, 25 times a day, and you carry it with you every single day. And as soon as you get up, your feet touch that floor, you think, your higher power, whoever that may be, and you say, thank you for letting me be here. Thank you for allowing me to breathe and see life again, because you got to walk with a purpose every single day and just live your moment, live your life. Don't let people, the overseers, the police, the officers, those fake politicians, even your teachers, like myself, don't let them tell you are less than or make you feel like you're less than.
Even your boys, or your homegirls saying, using sarcasm. Listen, kill that noise.
The first person, if your boys are clowning you about you being the one that's reading the book, those are the ones that you got to watch out for. Those are the ones that don't want to see you doing good. They'd rather see you stabbed in the back than doing better than them. And sometimes being alone is okay. You got to walk your own path, It's okay. But walk with your head high and know that you, like you said, we are descended from kings and queens. We invented arithmetic. We invented writing back with the Moors. Like, they won't tell you that in history. Question everything that someone gives to you. I tell it to my students when I teach them, don't take my word for it. Pick up a book. Look it up. Research it. Do it for yourself, because no one else is going to tell you to do it. Teachers in school are not taught to teach African American history or the history of the Negro. You have to figure it out and learn it for yourself, and you have to dig deep. I don't know why they make it that way, because they don't want us educated. Would you imagine what it's like if all of us, everyone picked up the book and got educated at the same time?
Ooh.
I went to a private school when I was a child, and being young, gifted, and black was not valued. It was not affirmed. It was not respected. When I was 4 years old, my teacher told me, if you want to keep a black person, put it in a book.
All day.
Right. This is in 1964 in Chicago. So that sent me to the library. And I had to learn. I had to learn about my history, because they definitely wasn't going to teach me in these old textbooks. And reading is very important. You know, reading all types of people from all walks of life, and learning about culture, about art, about music, about dance, about religion, about spirituality, just learning about the ways of the world, become a global citizen.
Right on. Tony, close us out with, give us your last thoughts before we cut you off.
Well, you're saying some very powerful things. Because exactly, that's what we need to do. We need to research everything, which is what I'm in the process of doing.
Right on.
You know, I'm on a spiritual journey.
Right on.
You know, and it's a joyful ride, I got to tell you. You know, I'm changing my life.
Right on. Appreciate
And it's because of what's happening, which made me change my outlook. You know, and I'm trying to connect with people who have the same outlook.
Right on.
Meaning empowering our people.
Right on.
And myself. When I empower myself, I can empower others. But first I got to learn to be comfortable with myself and learn about myself. That way I can teach others.
Right on, Tony. We really appreciate your phone call again, man. Listen, you keep tuning in, and make sure you look for this episode on the website. Give me a few days, man. I'm backed up a few weeks.
Okay.
With episodes, you know what I'm saying? And that's where, let me take the, we'll talk to you again, Tony. Have a peaceful night.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
This gives me a chance to plug, like, listen, I'm not begging, I'm just saying it costs money to keep this thing going. We are a not-for-profit project, and all your donations are tax deductible. Listen, ain't nobody getting rich in this camp, right? We just want to continue to bring you information, and that's where the websites cost. Domain names, web maintenance, all that stuff, videos, SD cards, camera maintenance, all that stuff costs. And I've been coming out of pocket for years with this. Your help is really appreciated, and you'll get a tax credit for the next year if you do donate. You can go to www.masculineus for more information about sponsoring this project. If you hit on the tab Donate Now, it'll take you to our fiscal sponsor page right off the back, and you can make a secure donation through our fiscal sponsor Fracture Atlas site. We do have a page within that organization. Yeah, man, it's been amazing. We got a couple of more minutes before we go off there. It's been like really, listen, it's not enough time. I'm like, shit, I looked up and it was like 8:53, and we got another caller. Check that out, man.
Take
Right,
Let's
thank
go ahead
you.
and take this call. Hello, caller. Who are you and where are you calling from? Hi. Hello?
Hello.
You're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello, Masculine.
Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you. Can you hear us? Hi. Hello. How are you tonight?
I'm sorry, I hear you very low. But,
Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me turn up the volume.
To try?
Can you hear us?
Yes?
Okay. We can hear you fine. Go ahead.
Okay, I hear you very low, but it's no problem.
Okay,
as
great.
long as you could hear me.
Very good.
We losing too many brothers, and we already just lost the sister. We got to outsmart these people. When we are stopped, use our brain, walk away, and you could fight them in court. You can't fight them with words, because anger brings out more anger. With a smile and courtesy, you could walk away and you could fight this system. You can make a change. We got to educate our brothers and sisters because we're losing them. So I say.
I want to, yes. Please speak more. Please speak, because you sound like one of my elders, and I just want you to speak more to us about some possible solutions. Please continue. Can you hear us?
I mean, we got to show love and caring for everyone. We too consumed with ourselves. We got to, don't be so materialistic. When we get angry that so many of us are passing away, but we're not really doing anything before things happen. After people pass away, we have anger. So, of course, that lady that got passed away, she had rage. You could see the rage. She was invaded. But she could have walked away from that. This idiot, he was really wrong.